Hi there, my name is Phil. I live in the Netherlands. We had elections over a week ago, and I am trying to update you of the last developments. Today, the scout started working again. He should make his report this week, but he is doing another round of talks with the leaders of the different parties, and he suggested to talk in duos, so two leaders together, because he feels, I suppose, that some people need to explain a few things, and trust is not something that is available mostly with the VVD and the NC and NSC. Let's start with the NSC because they do, Pieter Omtzigt, the leader, is willing to talk into duos, and he told us that there will be Geert Wilders, and the other one, I didn't quite hear the name, but because of that, I think it is the leader of the VVD, which name I really can't pronounce. She's not born in Holland, doesn't have a Dutch name, and I have dyslexia, and that makes it a bit hard for me. It's something like Yesil, Yesil goes, Yesil goes. I don't know. Then let's move on to the BBB. They would really like to sit in the coalition. It is actually that I don't know, but at least they became big in the elections before this one. And those elections were on the level of our provinces, and we have 12 of them. And she actually really wants this coalition to happen, and she has been suggesting several times that they need to sit down together and talk things out, which actually is already would be the second phase. The scout is dismissed. He has made his report, and they are going to the second phase, where the Prime Minister will be leading the negotiations. But we are not there yet. We are still in phase one, and the scout is doing his rounds this week at least, and he hopes to be able to report next week, and after that the second phase might start, and that will take a far more longer time. Yeah, two parties are not really willing. When you look at the NSC, they are really struggling. You can see that, and that's more. It feels like that they don't really want to participate in a coalition, but they feel the responsibility to at least try to form a coalition. For the VVD, it is quite different. I think that VVD is really struggling, and where the VVD already has announced that they don't want to become part of the coalition, I think that most of their supporters, I don't think that, it is clear that most of their supporters, or maybe not most, but a big part of their supporters would like to see the VVD taking part in the coalition. And although um, the leader of the VVD has been talking about supporting the coalition. People really want the part of their supporters really want them to take seat in the coalition. And there has been a poll coming out recently, I think just before the weekend, where it was obvious that if elections would take place now, that the VVD would lose seats and that the PVV would even gain seats, 5 in total from 37 to 42. I don't know how much the VVD would lose, but I suppose those are, the ones who really are disagreeing with Yesilgus. I'm trying. Yesilgus, I think that game comes close. With Yesilgus of the VVD. And it shows in what of trouble the VVD party is now. VVD was the biggest party in the last 13 years. Mark Rutte was the prime minister coming from the VVD. So, yeah. Mark Rutte brings me to the next topic, because of course I'm following the commentaries. One commentator said that this was about the last time it is possible to reduce the tension within our society. And of course, he was referring to the Dutch society. And I agree with that assessment. I think that if this goes wrong, and I'm not talking about a coalition, but since when a coalition is going to be formed, it's still going to go wrong very badly. And the division in and the distrust in the Netherlands will tear us apart, so to speak. I don't know if that will be the case, but it will become worse. And it is obvious because through the last decades, really big parties have been decimated. And now we are dealing with new parties, with new members, 20 new members in the PVV, and say, except for the leader, they are all new, 19 new members on 150 seats, and the PVV, except for Mona Keizer, I think, are all new, so 5 new people and Mona Keizer. And that means that the Dutch people really want something different, or maybe they don't want something different, but they want migration to be handled with. Whether a right-wing party pretty far to the right, according to Pieter Zehan, it is middle right. I don't know. I think it is worse than that, but I don't think that would be any good for the Dutch society in several ways. But I hope that he will adapt. But so far, he's not doing that. Yes, within the walls of the parliament he does, but outside it, as for instance, he went to a town to support people who don't want an asylum in their neighborhood. an asylum facility in the neighborhood. That asylum facility was erected pretty quickly because there was no other facility they could go. And we already have had people sleeping in front of the facility. But now it gets winter, you can't do that. Whether that facility is going to be definite, I don't know. But I think it is not a good idea when you want to become the prime minister to support people who are against migration. As a prime minister, you have the chance to negotiate your points, your point of view, your lines within the coalition. But as a prime minister, you should also be somewhat above the parties. If I look back on Mark Rutte, a lot of people had a lot to say about him, but he has been 13 years our prime minister. So he must have done something good. And I actually think that in Europe and in the States, he was a well-respected politician. And because he was well-respected, he had enough entries in parties outside the Netherlands. And I think that for us economically, but also for Europe, that it is important. The Netherlands is a small country, 17 or 18 million people living here, about 10 to 11 million have been voting. We are a small country, but somehow, we always have been a country of traders. We don't have commodities like gas we had, but that's now in the past, or other commodities we can use and sell. And we have developed ourselves to a trading country. That's a fragile situation. Geert Wilders as prime minister, if he doesn't change, might not be good for the Dutch. It might also not be good for Europe. Okay, last point, a sassy point, because I don't know what to make of it, but it seems that the secret has been exposed by Pieter Omtzigt, the leader of the NSC, came out of the room where he has been talking to the scout, and he was wearing some papers under his arm. And one journalist with his camera focused on that, and there were two lines you could read. And one said, bottom line, well, something like it, like I'm not going past this line. And the other one said, not with PVV, NSC, his own party, and BBB, which, in fact, if it's only those three, would be a minority coalition, which has its own problems, or its own possibilities, because it might make things more open in the parliament. And at first I thought, no, that's not good. But later on, I had something like, yeah, I think they should go for a minority. But I can imagine that the NSC is going to say, no, thank you. And then it depends on the VVD whether they want to become part of the coalition and change their mind and become part of the coalition. Okay, this was my update for today. Oh, before I really close up, I have made a remark in one of my vlogs that I am not proud to be Dutch. Well, I'm not somebody who is going to walk around with a flag, because I think it is, yeah, even to a certain point, dangerous to be really proud of your country. But I do like it here. And so I do think that I actually am proud to be Dutch. What I wanted to say was that I am not proud to be Dutch because I happen to be white or because I only have one pass. And because that has been disputed by Wilders, that people who has two passports might not be affiliated to our country enough and can't be Dutch. Well, that's what I'm not proud of. There's nothing to be proud of being Dutch just because I'm white or just because I have one pass. That is actually what I'm trying to say. Okay. I might let it go now for a few days and see, unless something really exciting is happening, but this is not really exciting. And I'll come back in probably a few days. Okay, thank you for watching. If you learned something or like the content, give me a thumbs up. And I'm going to see you soon, whenever. Bye.